One, two, 1, 2. All right. Hey, Shalom, Israel. You live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Priest and Captain Soccer War, holding down the class live from Memphis, Tennessee. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we have classes here in Memphis from 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. You brothers and sisters that's tuning in, you got family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas. Get them in contact with the ISUPK. School here in Memphis is located at 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. Again, 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. The calling number to the school is 901-249-0085. Again, 901-249-0085. Since 1969, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge has been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? Truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. In the year 2021, there is nothing more important than for God's chosen people to find out the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on the earth. Um, we like to open up these classes to give brothers and sisters an opportunity to go into this book called the Bible, to gain the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that is placed inside of this book in order to facilitate us coming back to being the people that God called us to be, reclaiming our righteous place on the earth as kings and priests, princesses and daughters of Zion. And the times that we're living in now, man, it's imperative that we get an understanding of uh, who we are and what our purpose is, and uh, really I don't want to say the destiny, but the conclusion that has already been written for us concerning all of the things that are happening and taking place on the earth. We're living in very trying times, very tumultuous times, and I know being in the truth offers those of us who know the Most High a bit of a I don't want to say, I guess a respite is the word I would use, um, from all of the distractions and all of the things that are going on in the world. But for many of our people, man, this is a very worrisome time. The economy is failing. There's war in Israel. There's terrorist attacks that are spiking up daily in different parts of the country. Um, you know, a lot of the luster and the illusion of this world is falling away for a lot of our people. And as times become more and more desperate, as things get more and more real for a lot of people, um, there's gonna be a lot of brothers and sisters that's looking for answers. They got questions, and uh, the time that the Bible prophesied, where the people would look for his prophets and look for those who had the answers, and they wouldn't be able to find them, is closely approaching. For much of the cities across this country, we haven't been going out to camp primarily because of what's going on with the Israeli-Palestinian war. Our stance is a very unpopular one for everybody that's involved. You understand? We stand on the Most High side, and when you stand on the Most High side, you stand opposite against everybody else. And so there was a time where you go out there on the weekends, every weekend, you would see us out there on the street teaching and speaking, and you could come ask questions and gain the knowledge. But we're getting into the time where even if you're coming outside to look for us, you're not gonna find us out there. You understand? So the time to be able to get your questions answered and to grow closer to the Most High is to catch us online in these classes. You know what I'm saying? For the brothers and sisters that have found their way into the truth, it's a beautiful, glorious time to know the Most High and to stand with His people. But for a lot of our people that are outside, that's where they're going to be. and I wanted to come teach this class tonight concerning entering America's wilderness, because the time that we're in now, we're in the very beginning stages of gearing up to be in the wilderness, to be outside of this place with all of its rules and all of its not its rules, its structure, its government, court system, all of those uh what's the word I'm looking for? All of those things that have been in place and that we've grown accustomed to having to prop us up as to be in the background of us as a people are no longer going to be available to us. And so as we grow towards the times where 911 is not something that's reliable, or going to court, or calling on your oppressor for assistance and help is something that people can lean on, it's important to look at how things were for the children of Israel when they left out of Egypt, when that's the structure and the stability of that society was no longer available to us. We spent years as a nation in the wilderness on our way into the promised land. And for 40 years, we were in the wilderness, not because it took 40 years for us to find the promised land, but because that time in the wilderness was important for the Most High to weed out from among us those who wanted to serve him and those who were just along for the ride. And so over this past weekend, being down there in Houston for the cookout down there in Houston, being able to spend time with brothers and talk with brothers from different parts of the country. There's a lot that's going on in the world where brothers and sisters that are in the world are beginning to acknowledge and recognize that these brothers in the Israelite School of UPK under Command of General Yohana have the answers. That there is a blueprint, that there is a structure, that there is a government that exists where our issues and our problems and the things that we face as a people can be properly helped and dealt with. You know what I'm saying? Talk with Captain Zaryak, man. He been doing amazing work on that chat. What's the damn? It's not called Chat House. What's it called? Clubhouse. Captain Desire been doing amazing work on that Clubhouse, you know what I'm saying, working with that WAC 100 and them folks over there. And he was telling us stories about how, they got him judging different matters and different issues that come up over there, you know what I'm saying? And I was talking with Captain Gadar, you know what I'm saying, talking with Captain Mawquad about different situations and circumstances where brothers and sisters that are in the streets are beginning to turn to the ISUPK because of our stance on righteousness, because of our capacity and ability to speak on all topics and all issues, because we're the only ones who come with the perspective that comes directly from the Most High. Like, we're not biased or unrighteous in our dealings, you know what I'm saying? And what's right is what's right and what's wrong is what's wrong. And we have a track record for standing on what's right and for speaking against all the things that are hypocritical, you know what I'm saying, or that are backwards or that are, unbalanced in our society. You know what I'm saying? And so part of what we have to recognize as the truth grows and as brothers and sisters in the world begin to understand and look to us for leadership and guidance, one of the things we got to understand is while many of our people are going to appreciate us and be thankful for these brothers who always say the right thing and always do what's right and stand on business is the term that a lot of people like to use. There's going to be more people who are angry and upset because there's a mindset that exists in our community. You understand? There's a lot of yeah. There's a lot of people in our community, in the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community, that would much rather have the oppressor rule over them than to have righteous men of God of their nation rule over them. And it was the same case with Moses when we was in the land of Egypt. They preferred the oppression of their slave master over the righteous leadership and guidance of a man who was like them. And that's part of what we're going to have to deal with and face in the wilderness here in America. All right. So that's what tonight's class is going to be about. Class is going to be about 45 minutes. We're not going to run too long with y'all. If any brothers and sisters have any questions, type them in. If you don't have any questions, you can comment, but watch your mouth. You understand? I'm particularly speaking to this certain person on Facebook who I'm not going to address you directly. I'm not even going to speak on your name, but you should watch your mouth, because you're on the internet and you think that the things that you say you could just say anything you want to say. You think that you have some moral standing, or you in some position to be able to critique or to be able to determine who's right and who's just, or who is fair and who's balanced. You should watch your mouth. I know you think that the words you speak on the internet doesn't mean anything. I know you think that you could just say whatever you want and there's no consequences and repercussions, but I'm telling you from firsthand experience, knowing the Most High, you should watch your mouth. You understand? Type something else goofy, something else stupid in this chat, and it's going to be a problem. All right? Moving on. If nobody has any questions, we're going to go ahead and get into it. First scripture we're going to go directly to the book of Exodus. Um, right with Moses, all right? At the very beginning of Moses' foray into serving the Most High. You understand? And to get a little bit of understanding of Moses' background, who he was, and why what he did was so important to raise up as a leader over the children of Israel during the time when he did. All right. All right. I don't see no questions on there. Let's go ahead and get Exodus chapter 2. All right. Exodus chapter 2, verse 11. All right. All right. So we're going to read Exodus chapter 2, verse 11, going on down to 15. All right. Sister Kapataza has a question. I'm going to address this question. Uh, the question is, Salakia, sir, are the skills learned now the same skills we've had in former lives? Okay, the answer to that, sis, is we don't know, right? When you say the skills, I'm assuming you speak of skills like braiding hair or sewing clothes, or being a nanny to take care of children, raise children, being somebody, a woman who does well with children, or a sister who has good organizational skills. A lot of those things just are learned behaviors. You understand, and that's something that's passed down through the DNA, or pass something that's in your spirit. There's a lot of sisters who have the capacity to develop different skills, but because of the environment they were raised in, or the way that they were taught and raised, they never acquired those skills. That doesn't mean that they didn't have those skills in a former life. They just weren't in a position or in a environment where they could learn those things today. You understand? But let me give you a scripture that kind of speaks to it. Let's see something. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 11. It says, "There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after." You understand? If you go back up to Ecclesiastes 1 and 9, it talks about the thing that has been is the thing which shall be. Speaking of, you know what I'm saying, people who were in the past who are back here in the earth again. There's no new thing under the sun. And it goes on down to say there's no remembrance of the former things, nor will there be any remembrance of things now in the time that's to come. You know what I'm saying? So you can't look at your life now and you a sister that braids hair, or you're good at, investing money and making money, and say, man, I've been a sister that was braiding hair and making money all of my, you know, all my lives. That's not something that we can put out there. All right, something we can project. Okay. Um, Bitch, this is stupid, bitch. I'm gonna block this person. All right. You're done. Never again are you gonna speak in this chat. Never again are you gonna be able to talk in any of these classes. You're stupid, and you're childish and ignorant, and we're just not even gonna deal with it. All right. So that's it for the question the sister had. Let me go ahead and put back up the topic. All right. So that's that. Um. So that Most High Christ, I answered the sister question. Let's go ahead and go back to where we were, which was Exodus chapter 2. I believe it was verse 12. I said. Let me go ahead and get it for y'all. Hold on. Let's go Exodus chapter 2, verse 11. All right. It says, "And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew, one of his brothers. And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, two men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him, why to him that did the wrong? Wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? Why are you hitting your brother?" Verse 14, and he said, "Who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me as thou killed the Egyptian?" And Moses feared and said, "Surely this thing is known." Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses, but Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Everybody understands. Now, what we got in those 5 lines is an epic story of heroism, of brotherhood, of disloyalty, betrayal, and exile. You understand? Moses was a man who was in a position to see everything, right? He was raised in Pharaoh's house. He was a man of prestige and honor and wealth. And Moses looked out and saw his brothers being oppressed by the Egyptians. And in the instance where he caught an Egyptian hitting a Hebrew, Moses, because of his status, because of the reputation and the spotlight he had on him, he had to make sure that in order to come to his brother's rescue, he wasn't putting himself in jeopardy. And as Moses spied and saw that there was nobody who saw him, there was nobody of the Egyptians that would see him smite this oppressor, Moses took that oppressor out, took him out, hid him in the sand. Now, of course, Moses taking out this Egyptian meant what? There were witnesses. The witness was the brother who he delivered, the brother who was being hit. Knowing how the oppressor is with us today, we could be in our community and the oppressor is there, and somebody deals with the oppressor, but guess what? There's going to be people in the neighborhood that's there. There's going to be people that see what happens. But among ourselves, when it comes to us and the oppressor, hey man, we ain't seen nothing. We don't know what happened. And that was the case with Moses smiting this Egyptian and hiding his body in the sand, hiding the crime. Amongst our people, it was known what Moses did. But Moses wasn't put in a position to be dealt with by the oppressor because it wasn't none of their business. But on the second day when Moses came out, he saw two Israelites striving together, two Hebrews beefing with each other. And in this situation, there was one that was right and one that was wrong. And Moses, being a man that stood for what was right, loving what was right, said to the brother who was wrong, "Why you do that, man? You know you wrong for that. What's the matter with you?" That brother's response to Moses was, "Nigga, who put you in charge? Nigga, who made you the judge?" Not that he was wrong. He didn't want to address that he was wrong. He didn't want to deal with the fact that Moses was right and that he was out of line for hitting his brother and that he shouldn't have been doing the wrong that he was doing. Rather than deal with the actual issue, which was he was wrong, he flipped it back on Moses. "Nigga, who made you, put you in charge? Who the hell are you to judge who was right and who was wrong? Oh, so what, nigga? You gonna do me like you did the Egyptian? You gonna kill me like you killed the Egyptian, Moses? That's what you gonna do?" Because I don't remember nobody asking you to do that. I don't remember nobody putting you in charge over us. That's disloyalty, man. That's a man who hated the idea that this nigga, this Hebrew, could tell me what to do. He didn't mind the oppressor beating on his brothers, beating him, destroying his community. That he let that slide. But when a man among his own people rose up and said, "Brother, you wrong. You shouldn't do that, man. What's the matter with you?" Knowing that this brother has put in work, this brother is known in the community for helping us against the oppressor, for fighting against the oppressor, for standing for what's right. Knowing all of that, the nigga that was wrong still said to Moses, "Nigga, who put you in charge? Who told you was the one to tell everybody what to do and what not to do? Nigga, you know what you gonna do to me like you did the Egyptian?" Oh yeah, nigga, you think don't nobody know, nigga? We know. And Moses knew right then, these niggas messed up. This the kind of nigga that'll snitch on me. This kind of nigga that'll tell and get me locked up for doing what was right, for standing for my people. This nigga would rather see me go to jail than to have me be a ruler, than to have me be a brother to tell you what's right and what's wrong. You mad at me because you wrong. And I'm telling you, you wrong. Moses knew, damn, I messed up, man. I thought I could trust my people. I thought that they would respect me and be down with me, seeing that I put in work, seeing that I got rid of the oppressor to help one of us out. The reality is, man, in our community, there's a lot of brothers and sisters that would much rather have the oppressor ruling over them than to have to follow behind one of their own, than to have to serve one of their own. And that's been an issue and a battle in Israel since the beginning of our time as a people. It began right here with Moses. Moses was just a brother who cared enough about his people to see them be the best that they could be, to stand for what was right. And if you were wrong, Moses had the ball. He had the manhood to tell you, man, you're wrong, man. What's the matter with you? Why you hitting your brother, man? That's what the devil do to us. Why you gonna be on the side of the devil against your brother, man? Don't do that. That ain't right. That's wrong. And rather than that man taking correction and saying, you know what, you right, man. I was wrong. I shouldn't have did that, man. Damn. I'm sorry, brother. Forgive me. Rather than take low and accept that he was wrong, he was bold in his being wrong. Nigga, who made you a prince? Who made you a judge? Oh, so what you gonna do to me like you did the Egyptian nigga? Nigga, you can't tell me what to do. What do you do with brothers like that? What do you do with people among your own who don't value the work of revolution? That don't value the sacrifices of leaders who give their lives for the betterment of their people? What do you do with people who see your work, see what you're the benefit of what you're doing, and still say, nah, fuck them niggas, man. I don't fuck with them niggas. I don't care what they doing. I don't care if they serving God. I don't care if they righteous and they obeying the laws of God. Who the fuck told them niggas that they get to tell everybody what to do? The 40 years the children of Israel spent in the wilderness was so God could kill all those people. All the people that stood in objection to Moses' rulership, to Moses being righteous, to Moses demanding from us that we all be righteous. It was 40 years in the wilderness so God could kill all of those niggas. And there's a time coming in this world that we're living in today where there are people who are going to see the honorable, righteous acts of the men of the Most High and I, Ashupika, and Commander General Yohana. They're going to hear all the wondrous words that we speak. They're going to hear about all these laws and these judgments and how there's a structure in this place that exists where any issues or problems you have, you can get them dealt with. You can get them meted out honorably and righteously. Any disagreement you have, we can sit down as brothers and we can work it out. There's going to be people that hear all of that and still say, man, fuck them niggas. Who made them niggas in charge? Who told them niggas that they get to tell us what's right and wrong? Because they would much rather go to the devil. They would much rather go to their oppressor, whose system is corrupt, whose system is unjust. They would much rather deal with that oppressor than to have to be judged by someone of their own kind who is morally righteous, who stands with the Lord. And that's what began Moses' journey to serve the Most High. Moses was just a brother that cared about his people enough to put in work for him. But there was niggas during Moses' time that didn't appreciate that work. You understand? Let's take you back. Let's go to the New Testament. Let's go to the time of Jesus Christ when he walked the earth. Jesus Christ was very much a revolutionary in the same vein as Moses. Christ was a brother who looked out on his people, loved his people, man, cared about his people. And because he cared about his people, he did things that absolutely went against the oppressor. Bear with me, hold up. Our King Christ took stances that went against the Greeks at the time. No, not the Greeks, went against the Romans at the time. He promoted a culture of righteousness and honesty and obeying the Most High that went completely against everything that was being promoted in Rome and by the leaders in Israel during that time. And because of it, Them leaders in Israel hated Christ, man. They hated Christ because he represented what was righteous. He represented what was better than them. He represented what would benefit the people the most. And because of it, they hated him. Wanted that nigga out the way because they would have much rather been slaves under the Romans than to have lived free under the rule of someone who was from their bloodline, someone who was from their kin. Everybody understands. Let me go ahead and get you what they said about Christ. Let's get John chapter 11. Let's get John chapter 11, verse 45. Yo, shit crazy. Let's get John chapter 11. We're going to start at verse 45, all right? John chapter 11, verse 45. I'm going to go ahead and get it out the Bible. Read it out the hard book as opposed to reading it out of this internet. I mean, of the Bible I have on my app on my phone. It's another thing, too. I know a lot of us, we get comfortable with these apps and different things like that. But brothers should still be getting practice opening up the actual Bible, reading from the Bible, reading the words in the book. It helps when you go to camp. It helps when you're studying on your own. We're not going to always have these phones and these apps. So it's good to be able to turn in the Bible and know where different scriptures and things are because you're comfortable opening up the book. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying this for myself because it's something that I haven't really been doing too much lately, but I'm doing it now. All right. So this is John chapter 11, verse 45. All right. It says, Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Jesus did believed on him. But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Jesus had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, What do we for this man does many miracles? They say, man, what we going to do, man? This cat doing all these miracles. Now, you would think that living in that time, these are Israelites who are under the Roman persecution, under Roman oppression. And the Romans are ruling over us, and brothers and sisters are poor, and they, being taxed heavily. The Roman army, anytime anybody rises up or goes against the Roman rule, they kill us, they murder us, throw us in prisons. You would think news of a man healing the sick and raising the dead would be like, yo, there's this nigga, man, he doing these amazing things. He getting brothers out of prison, man. He feeding the homeless. You understand? Cats has got diseases. They ain't got no insurance to go to the hospital. He healing them. Man, we need to get this brother down with us, man. We need to find out what we need to do to get down with him. He doing all these miracles, man. He doing amazing things. That's what we would think, because we got a heart towards the Lord. We care about our people. So somebody doing something good, we want to connect with them, build with them. Hey, what we got to do to come together? Not the Pharisees and Sadducees. They see this brother doing all these things. He's feeding the poor, having clothing drives. He's doing events to be able to get your record expunged if you got a criminal record. He's trying to get brothers out of jail. Prison department, writing brothers in prison, build them up in there, teaching them how to get their mind right so when they come home, they don't go back to jail. You would think black people would see that and say, man, we should join with them. You hear about the stuff that the ISUPK is doing. Commander General Your Honor is feeding people and clothing people and having food programs and a GED program. They're getting brothers off of drugs and helping brothers that's in the prisons. They got a program they can expunge your record. You would think people would hear this and say, man, we need to see what's up with these black men. They doing something amazing for black people. They going across the border. They feeding the Mexicans over there. They feeding the Haitians that's trying to come across the border. They're going into drug cartel territory and feeding people and bringing them clothes and food when the United Nations and the goddamn World Health Organization ain't doing nothing for these people. Man, we should get up with them. We should link with them and see how we can help them to maximize their efforts. That's what you would think, right? Pharisees and Sadducees got together with a council and said, what are we going to do about this man performing all these miracles? This is John chapter 11, verse 48. If we leave him thus alone, if we don't bother him, many men, listen like it, all men will believe on him. And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. If we leave him alone, everybody gonna believe on him. And what's the threat in that? What's the danger in everybody believing in him? The threat is that the oppressor is going to take away our spot, take away our place. So rather than be under a man who everybody believes in, you would rather be under the oppressor rather than gather with your brother who's performing miracles, raising the dead, healing the sick, giving sight to the blind, feeding the people who have no food. Rather than let him be in charge and rule, you would rather keep a place under your oppressor. What kind of niggas is you? What kind of where are you from? What is in your mind? What is in your spirit that you would much rather serve your oppressor than to serve your brother who is more honorable than you, more righteous than you? This is what was in the mind and the hearts of the Pharisees and Sadducees. This is what was in the mind and the heart of the man that said to Moses, nigga, who made you a prince? And this is what is in the mind and the heart of a lot of our people today who hate the ISUPK. They would much rather the white man be in charge than to have to listen to you niggas. And the white man being in charge means that they are oppressed. They are at the bottom. They are the last hired and the first fired. They're the ones that you get money. The tax man gonna rape you. The police gonna rape you. You're gonna get extorted. You're gonna get mistreated. You're gonna get violated on every side. Your community gonna be full of drugs and homosexuals, child molestation and rape. Holidays that celebrate the murder and the rape and the robbery of you and your people. No culture. You know what I'm saying? Nothing to advance your family or your legacy forward. And they would much rather have it be that way than to have to listen to some niggas. Them niggas that be on the corner yelling, man, fuck them niggas, man. Hey, man, I don't give a fuck. I let the white man be the devil. I'm gonna celebrate this Christmas and celebrate this Thanksgiving. I ain't finna follow these niggas. You may dress like them. You may put some fringes on my pants and stop smoking weed and leave hoes alone, man. You niggas out your mind. Unfortunately, that's what's in the mind and the heart of a lot of our people. And how can you build a nation with people like that? What do you do when you have a nation and there's people like that? How far can you build? How far can you go when there are people who you love, who you trying to care for and deliver, that look at you and say, fuck you, I'd rather serve the white man. God got to kill him. God has to get rid of him. And that's what that time in the wilderness was about. Them 40 years in the wilderness was the Lord sorting through all of the disloyal and weak-minded and double-minded people who could not choose serving the Lord over being under their oppressor. And in 2023, going into 2024, there are a lot of our people who love this oppressor. They love this world that they've created for them. They love the unbalance. They love the oppression. They love the fact that, hey, my life really ain't about nothing, but it's a little bit better than the nigga that's next to me. They don't want to live in a world where, it's a meritocracy, where you get what you deserve. You get what you earn. They want to live in a world where the dog eats dog, you know what I'm saying? And the most cruel and the most vicious and the one who's willing to do the most evil, that's the one who'll get the leg up. It's important that we prepare ourselves for that, because there's going to come a time where we're going to watch the Lord destroy all these people who we tried to love and care for. We tried to build up and provide a place for them to get themselves together. We were willing to judge their matters. We're willing to answer the phones at 3, 4, 5 in the morning to deal with their problems and their issues. But they chose to be under their oppressor. And so they're gonna get what they deserve. You understand? Let's keep reading in John chapter 11, all right? John 11 and 50. No, John 11 and 49. And one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, Ye know nothing at all, nor consider that this is nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus should die for that nation. And not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad. Then from that day forth, they took counsel together for to put him to death. Everybody understands. The nigga Caiaphas said, Y'all don't even get it. It's better that this one man should die for the whole nation than for the whole nation to perish. Meaning what? We're going to offer this man up to the Romans. We're going to turn him into the police. It's better that he get to be dealt with by the Romans so that we prove our loyalty than for the Romans to come and take away our seat in our nation because this nigga is going to rile the people up. There's some amongst us who hate the idea of revolution. There's some amongst us who hate the idea of change. They love the system the way it is because they can benefit. And I pray that as I'm speaking these words, y'all seeing the people who I'm talking about. Your Christian pastors, they don't want this world to change. The rich uppity niggas who got their education and they got their degrees and they've carved out a slice of America for themselves. They don't want to hear what we're talking about. They don't want America to fall. Everything that we speak and everything we stand on threatens their very way of life because their way of life is the oppressor's way of life. They learned the oppressor system and they adapted themselves and they conformed themselves to it. They're not doing that again. They're not going to give up everything they've earned in this oppressor's world to what? Take what God has to offer them? Nah, nigga, fuck that. God ain't got enough for them. We sit here in these classes and we talk about the kingdom that's to come, crowns being put on our heads and riches and wealth and all the things that the Lord has at our disposal. But for most of us, it's faith. Those niggas that done got what they got out of America, they ain't got faith like that. Nigga, I got $1 million in my bank account now. I got 6 figures in my bank account right now. Whatever your God coming around the corner talking about, nigga, I ain't got time for that. You living in some fantasy world. You believing in some God that's gonna come and save you out of the sky. Nigga, my God got me 6 figures in the bank right now. All I had to do was be a good boy. All I had to do was, get that degree and say yes sir, no sir, and learn these treacherous ways of this oppressor. And I did all that, nigga. I'm getting money out here. You not. Really, you just in that religion because you ain't getting no money. You niggas really just broke. You just mad because you ain't got no money for no hoes. That's what they thinking in their mind. You niggas ain't got no money. Not knowing we got money, nigga. I get money. I got women. I got wives. I got a house, nigga. I get nice things. What you talking about? Nigga, you tripping. We living amazing over here in the ISUPK. We living wonderful lives, nigga. We travel, go out of town, go on vacations and take trips, but we serve the Lord. The money in your bank account ain't got nothing to do with the morality inside of your spirit. It got nothing to do with how you live your life. You wildin'. Like niggas think that the only way to have money is to be an evil, wicked bastard. Nah, you can have money and serve the Lord too. But also by serving the Lord and having money, you know not to be a greedy bastard. You know not to be a disgusting, filthy piece of garbage. But you can't do that. You don't know how to have money and not be a piece of garbage. You don't know how to have money and still have humility, still care about your brother and your sister that live next door to you. A brother in here could be a millionaire, and guess what? We ain't gonna have some expensive car on 25 inches with a sound system that beat up the block, but we still live in the projects with people that ain't got nothing. No, we're gonna live the same way they live. You're not gonna know I got $1 million in the bank. I'm not gonna come out the house every day with a bunch of jewelry blanging and I live in the goddamn projects. Niggas gonna rob me. I'm not gonna be mad if they try to come rob me because I'm showing to them, hey, nigga, I can afford it. Come take it all. Like, there's a certain way that you have to respect life on the earth. And there's a lot of our people, because of the oppressor's way, they think they ain't gotta respect that life. They think they ain't gotta live within their means. When you should, you absolutely should. You shouldn't be in a community full of beggars and poor people and think that it's okay to flaunt how your riches. You're just asking those people to come take it from you. It's a lot easier to just come take what you got than to what you want me to go get a job and what do what you did, nigga. Nah, I'm not doing all that. Fuck that. That's the mentality of people that's in the streets, people that's underdeveloped. You somebody who is developed and has gotten to some place, you should respect those people and that rub it in their face. I might be sidebarring a little bit, but there's a large demographic of Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people who have carved out a good life for themselves in America. They don't want that good life to go away. So they will do anything necessary to stand with America. They'll do anything necessary to stand with the status quo and the way society is. And everything we represent, everything we teach is a threat to that. And rather than them letting it go to waste and having to come on our side, they would absolutely railroad what we have going on. They would see all of us go to jail, thrown in the dungeon, in the prison, and they would smile and laugh while it happened because it means they get to keep their little bit. And so for us who are the revolutionaries, who are the ones who are standing with the Lord, we have to recognize that that element exists within our community. And because that element exists within our community, we have to know that God is going to destroy them because he's done it before. These men who had this counsel to put Jesus to death, the Lord destroyed them. And they lost their seat in their place with the Romans anyway. That's what these Negroes in America don't understand. That place you think you got, you don't have it. The oppressor is going to take it anyway. So why would you stand on the side of the oppressor rather than stand on the side of God? Because in their minds, they would much rather be under the oppressor than to be under a nigga that looks like them. Let's keep on reading. We're gonna go back to the book of we're gonna go down to the back to the book of Exodus, and we're gonna go to when they came up against Moses, because Moses had the power, or Moses was leading the children of Israel. Hold up, hold up. Yo, these is crazy. Hold up. Yo. This is Numbers chapter 16, all right. Number 16. Let's see something. Yeah. It might be the whole Numbers the 16th chapter. We're just gonna read number 16, starting at verse 1. Again, in the wilderness, after we left out of Egypt, the Most High had us there for 40 years so that he could kill all the Israelites who were not completely down with him. Lord had to sort out from amongst our ranks all the men who did not deserve the kingdom, all the men who were not worthy to make it into that promised land. And as we come out of this land called America, there's a lot of brothers and sisters who the Lord is not going to deem worthy to receive what the rewards are that are to come. And we don't know when this time will be. We don't know if this will be before we get taken out of this place. We don't know if it's going to be after we're taken out of this place and we're set down somewhere else. But there's going to come a time where those who have stood with the Lord, the revolutionaries of our people, are going to have to deal with the traitors and the disloyalty and the disloyalers, or the those who would abandon the mission to join the oppressor in the blink of an eye. We're going to have to deal with them. And right now is the time that we're going to begin to see who those people are. The more that the ISUPK grows in its stature and its recognition by our people, the more we're going to be exposed to brothers and sisters who really just hate the Lord. And it's going to, for some of us, it's going to be difficult to deal with. It's going to be shocking. It's going to be painful that the people we loved and cared for and would put our life on the line for, really would much rather see us in pain, would much rather see us hurt by the oppressor, because the idea of them having to serve under someone who is of their same blood is just too much for them. You understand? Bear with me 1 second, y'all. Let me grab some to drink. Give me 2 seconds. We're going to number 16, all right? Number chapter 16. Damn, ain't no ice. Number 16, y'all. Hold up. Bear with me. All right. And I'm back. Salakia. We're going to Numbers chapter 16, all right? We're going to start at verse 1. Now, I'm already closing out the class after this, all right? So if you got any questions, y'all want to get them in now. But we're going to Numbers chapter 16. All right. Boom. So this is Numbers chapter 16, verse 1. It says, now Korah, the son of Izar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abiram, the son of Eliab, and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men. So these are brothers that are from the tribe of Levi and two brothers from the tribe of Reuben, right? And it's three men. There's Korah, there's Dathan, and Abiram. You understand? Two brothers, Dathan and Abiram are brothers, and Korah is another brother from the tribe of Levi. They took men. Verse 2, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. So they went and got 250 men. These three brothers went and got 250 men who were famous and well known among all Israel. What does that tell you? That when they were in Egypt, these men were on and popping. These were men that were known. These were men that were famous. These were men that the children of Israel recognized. Everybody understands? It would be today, black people as a nation gathering somewhere, and then some three niggas getting 250 men that everybody knows. What name? I don't know 250 niggas that everybody knows that ain't famous and on TV and on the radio and that you get to see all the time. Everybody understands? Those are these men. This is the magnitude of the stature of these men. Right? Verse 4 and verse 3. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron and said unto them, ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves against the congregation of the Lord? Nigga, what? These 253 men came up to Moses and Aaron and said, hey man, y'all doing too much, man. Y'all taking on too much weight. Don't you, y'all said the Lord with all of us, right? All of Israel holy. Well, if we all holy, who made y'all niggas special? Who put y'all in charge? Why y'all the ones to rule over everybody? How disrespectful and disloyal and, entitled must you be? Let's read on. Verse 4. And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face. They came to Moses, talking to Moses. Moses' response was to fall on his face, put his face to the ground. And he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow the Most High will show who are his, and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him, even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. So Moses said, oh, okay, tomorrow the Lord gonna show you who he's close to. He gonna show you who he's with. He gonna make it clear to everybody who he's close to. Verse 6, this do, take you censers, Korah and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord does choose, He shall be holy. You take too much upon you, you sons of Levi. This is Moses' response to them. All right. Salakia. And Moses said unto Korah, Hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi, seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the God of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them, meaning to Korah. How dare you, nigga, when you of the sons of Levi, you think it's a small thing what you've been chosen to do as a Levite? You think it's a small thing the Lord separated y'all and had y'all to be the ones to do the service? Nigga, that's the most monumental thing you could have. It's the biggest seat in Israel you could possibly have. You coming to me telling me that we taking on too much when the great responsibility you've been given, you not acknowledging that and respecting that? How dare you? It's the same way today. We are the ones out there on the streets doing the work of the Most High, teaching our people and putting our life on the line and our reputations and everything. Somebody who's not doing the work we doing gonna come tell us who made y'all to be judges? Who told y'all that y'all got all the answers? Who made you to be the ones to say that if it ain't of the eyes you became the commandant general Yohana is not of the Lord? Are you out of your mind to ask us why? Don't ask us why we say this and we say that. The Lord is showing you why. The work that we do is the answer to your question. Don't insult us with silly questions. Korah and them didn't understand that the disrespect they showed in not acknowledging and accepting the role they were chosen for was absolutely a crime. But let's keep reading. Verse 10, and he hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also? Like, it's not enough the Lord gave you the responsibility to be the ministers of the people in the congregation, but you want the priesthood too? You want to take, you want my job? You want my job, nigga? You can't have my job. The Lord gave me this job. You didn't want this job in the first place. If you wanted it, you would have been doing it. Now that you see me doing it and we're flourishing in it, you want our job? Nah, you'd be a rapper. Be a rapper. Be a community activist. Be a, talking head on TV, nigga. But don't come for the job of the priest. That goes for everybody. There's a lot of influencers in the black community. Stay in your lane. Do your job. Give whatever gifts you can give to help our people. But when it comes to being the government and being the judges of right and wrong, nigga, that's our job. Don't come for our job. Keep reading. Numbers 16 and 11. For which cause both thou and thy company are gathered together against the Lord. And what is Aaron that ye murmur against him? Verse 12. And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, We will not come up. After they checked Korah, Dathan and Abiram would not even come face Moses. Verse 13. Is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of a land that flows with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us? That's what you niggas thought this was about? You think this revolution is about us making ourselves princes over you? Moses like, nigga, I didn't want this job. I didn't do this for me. You think I went up against Pharaoh and all of that for you? That's what they thought. They thought to themselves, Moses, you did all this so you could make yourself a prince over us. You did all these miracles just so you could rule over us. Nigga, what? You think we out there clothing the homeless and feeding the homeless and battling on the streets with microphones every day to make ourselves princes over you? We're doing it to free ourselves from oppression. We're doing it to create a better society for ourselves. We're doing it because that's what the Lord requires. You think we're doing it, what? So we could tell you you're wrong? I don't need to do that job to tell you you're wrong. It's like, These niggas was absolutely out of pocket. They were insane for coming against Moses and Aaron in this way. They were insane for thinking what they were thinking. They had the mindset of the oppressor. We didn't do. You think we trying to oppress y'all? Because we telling you not to smoke weed, not to have sex with one another's women, not to slut out your daughters or turn your sons into drug dealers and homosexuals, nigga. That'll help you. That doesn't benefit us. Doesn't give us any rulership or power to tell you to serve God. You out of your mind? We want to create a place where our people are safe, where we can thrive on the earth and we can live prosperously. The only way we're going to do that is through obeying God. How you black and been in America for 30 years and don't see that? How you black and been in America for 15 years and don't see that what we teaching and what we promoting is the betterment of all of our people? God damn, you really love this oppressor. You really love this way of life. You love this place that much? Because we don't. We'd rather anything than to be the way it's always been. But there's a lot of our people that they can't see anything other than what it's been. Everybody understands. Let's keep reading. Numbers chapter 16, verse 15. And Moses was very wroth and said unto the Lord, respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. Moses prayed to God. Don't respect these niggas. Don't acknowledge them. I ain't did nothing wrong to them. Show them that they are wrong. And that is the prayer of all the men in the. That's why in ISUPK we say these prayers at the end of class. I'm gonna get back to saying the prayers too. We say the prayers where we ask the Most High to acknowledge the evil and the wicked among our people and to root them out and to cause them to be destroyed and to cause them to, to be shamed for what they've done standing against his princes and his priests. You understand? But Moses prayed that the Lord would not have respect unto them. Let's keep reading. Verse 16, Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow. And take every man his censer and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers, thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer and put fire in them and laid incense thereon, and stood at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O God, the God of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and will thou be wroth with all the congregation? And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the congregation, saying, get ye up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins. So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan and Abiram on every side. And Dathan and Abiram stood out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives and their sons and their little children. And Moses said, hereby ye shall know that the Lord has sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of my own mind. If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder and was under them. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all that, and all the men that appertained unto Korah, and all their goods. They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up also. And there came out a fire from the Lord and consumed the 250 men that offered incense. Everybody understands. The Lord killed all the niggas that came up against Moses in that wilderness. And it was honorable. and it was righteous and it was just. That is what we should prepare ourselves for entering the wilderness of America. The more the truth grows and the more brothers and sisters and ISUPK become prominent features in our country and in our nation among our people, you have to be ready to deal with those who the Lord are going to recognize are in the way. And don't be surprised when you encounter those who would much rather be joined to their oppressor and live under their rule than to be joined unto men of God and live in the righteousness of the Most High. With that, with the Israelite School of UPK out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. Since 1969, we've been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians the truth according to the Bible. What is the truth? Truth is that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians descend from the greatest people that have ever walked the face of the earth. The Bible identifies us as the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. In the year 2023, there is nothing more important than for God's chosen people to learn the truth of who we are, where we come from, and what our purpose is on the earth. We got classes here in Memphis, 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. Again, 3000 Walnut Grove Road, Suite 215. The calling number is 901-249-0085. Again, 901-249-0085. You got any family, loved ones, people you care about in the Memphis, Tennessee, and surrounding areas, get in contact with the ISUPK. If you're dealing with any type of struggles, any stresses, any problems in your life, you're not sure how to address them, pick up the phone, call that number, get in contact with us. With that, Shalom Israel. See y'all tomorrow for class. All right.